Hi, so in this video, we're going to look at how to integrate Evernote and how exactly that integration works. So to do that, you go to your Import and Integration section and click on Evernote. Here, there's an important distinction with a lot of the other integrations we currently offer in myReach. It's that Evernote is not an import, it's an integration, meaning that you can sync your Evernote account with myReach, where everything that you create in Evernote will get then duplicated or created and updated in myReach. That being said, if any modification gets done in myReach, it won't be reflected in Evernote. But any modification you do in Evernote to a note, if you create anything new, then it will reflect that modification in myReach. So unlike some of the other integrations, rather than having to import a folder or upload information, here you connect Evernote. So to do so, you click Connect. You log into Evernote. Here I'm already logged in. And as you can see, myReach will then have access to the notes that you have, the different sort of notebooks, when things are being updated and when they're not, and the ability to essentially download information. That being said, we won't ever modify anything within your Evernote or delete any information within your Evernote. So here I reauthorize. And reauthorizing, then I log into myReach automatically, and we identify all of your different notebooks that you have in your Evernote account. In this case, in my Evernote, I only have one notebook, and that notebook has two notes. An important thing here to note, when you import your notebooks into myReach, it will create one workspace. That will be the Evernote workspace. And in the Evernote workspace, you'll have all of your notebooks within it. Each of those notebooks would be created as a tag, and all of the notes contained will be created as notes, websites, or documents. So, meaning that if you have a note in your Evernote that is just a document, rather than creating a note and having that note an attachment of a document, we then automatically create the document for you. Same if it's a website, if it's just a URL, we would create the URL for you. Another key important thing to note is that any tag, all the tags that you have in Evernote, those then automatically get created as tags in myReach and are connected to all the relevant notes. So that way you can see instantly how all of the data that you had in Evernote is interconnected between each other. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to select my first notebook and import it. The little spinner you had here showed essentially that information was being imported from your Evernote. Depending on the size of your Evernote, this can take quite some time, I have to say. Evernote's integration is not, or API is not the fastest. So in this case, the integration has finished. And as you can see here, I have sort of an hour clock. This hour clock essentially represents a cooldown period. Because of rate limits that we have with Evernote, you cannot do back-to-back multiple integrations with Evernote. So you can only do them once a day. Hence here you can see that the next update I can do, the next sort of input I can do of Evernote is in 24 hours time. So once those 24 hours elapse, this little hour clock would change to an icon saying update. And if I click on it, it will then identify all of the new notes that have been recently uploaded to Evernote and import those, and equally identify all the ones that have changed, and then it will update myReach with all of those changes. Then here below, as you can see now, there appears all of the selected notebooks. Those selected notebooks essentially is the selection that I've chosen to import. In this case, there was only one, but imagine you had multiple notebooks, you only imported one, then down the road, you can then select additional ones that you wish to import. Similarly, if you deselect the notebook, it won't delete it from myReach. It won't delete all of that information from myReach. It will simply no longer sync it. And like other integrations, you have here some details about when it was created, the integration, last updated, the history logs as to what was created and when, the total amount of items that have been created, and similar to others, if you delete the integration, it will delete that workspace and move essentially all of the items that are unique to that workspace into your unassigned. So this is a brief overview of the Evernote integration. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments.